I'm really glad that we got to do this for you guys. We appreciated that. And I think we had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys see that. So.
My name's Rebecca Rowe, and I too am very glad we're here, and it's a great opportunity.
My name is Eric Johnson, and it's been fun.
Good morning, my name is Kathy Burr, and I hope you guys will like our presentation.
My name's Carrie Carlisle, and we're the power team.
All right.
Okay, we're going to get started, and we're going to show you an outdoor board, which was one of the things that we were challenged with coming up with. And first off, we want to say that we felt that to show emotion through people's gestures, we wanted to show the actual ride on most of our pieces. And so that's the reasoning for the people. I thought that, or we thought that these people were fairly emotional. And so if you saw that driving down the road, you might take a second to look at it. So, and in our text as well, we used the words Texas-sized because we understand that there are a lot of different Six Flags, in the United States, and we didn't want anybody to get confused with which one they were to go to. And we were told that in Texas, when you hear Six Flags, Six Flags Over Texas is the one that they most are accustomed to hearing about. So, and we understand that in Oklahoma, these boards are going to be put up as we've seen already. So, we needed the Oklahoma market to also know that it is in Texas and nowhere else. We again went with the logo on the side there, so that you know, and people will probably have a connection with the Superman, whether they're old or young. I think that it's kind of an escape, from being old. If you are old and you see this is your opportunity to escape reality. So we used pastel colors in the background, and we felt that it would pop things off. I mean, we used white at first, and it was just too boring, and kind of just didn't do it for us. So that's that.
Good. That guy in the middle does have an expression. You want to know what he's saying?
This is another version of the board, and it too has the overall mood of excitement and fun. And this is not just any other ride. This is the largest ride of its kind, the tallest. And we feel that expresses that in this piece. We wanted to make up here. We put it'll make your body jolt, rattle, and roll. It makes it fun. It just adds to that. Again, we put the pastel colors in the background. It's kind of a cartoon feel. It kind of makes you feel like it's a little bit of a cartoon look, but it's not too much. And we put the little border around the outside. That adds to the fun and the excitement. And that's another one. This is another version. Different background. This is another look. We tried to make this look a little more cartoon-like again, and we put it'll make your limbs limbo. We're trying to make this fun and exciting for everybody.
I didn't know.
This is an airport poster. It would hang in, as you see here, it's hanging on like a building or a little glass cubicle. It sits outside the airport going in. It can also hang in like the concourse of coming off an airplane. And it's just, it's, when you first come into an airport, you see these little posters and stuff, and it gets your attention. And we want people to see this, so they're going, hey, this looks like fun, let's go. But, like it says here, it'll make your eyes pop. I mean, when you hear that, you just automatically think, hey, let's go. And I got down here the description of the ride. I used a little wave to make it look fun. Again, with the pastel colors in the background and the different colors on the writing, Texas-sized. We offset it and moved it around stuff so it looked like a real fun time.
I'll get one like in this spot.
The way that looks in there.
Yeah, as you've seen by now, we're really playing off the Texas size because this ride is large. I mean, it's so. This says Texas size thrills. Notice how the type is jumped off because we really want to emphasize the thrills, the Texas size. We want to jump out at you. It's big, it's exciting, it's fun like this was. So this says Texas. This is a bus poster that sits at the bus stop. It'll make your stomach flip is what the subhead says. Texas size thrills is the headline. We kept the colors really vibrant, really, really fun. It kind of tingles your eye, like to try to tingle your stomach. That's like I said, that's what we really want to emphasize. That's why everything is popped off, drop shadows on stuff to really the excitement on the faces. I want them to feel that too.
And this will be actually a bus bench where that was a transit bus stop poster. We felt that maybe we should put it in application, maybe because there are like a lot of just bus benches on the side of the road, not so many maybe transit stops. So, and once again, we had a really hard time when we tried to use the tower in the billboards. You can't extend off the top of the billboard too high. You know, and that's we felt it was the only way to really show the size of the ride is to have it big. I thought, you know, if we put it if we can find it in that area, it might actually demean the ride and not make it look near as exciting. So that's the reasoning for our using the people, and because they definitely show excitement. We then reused the logo, and that's basically the only way that we could kind of use the ride, if you will, like is through the logo. So we wanted to make sure that that was visible, but we didn't want it to be dominant because, you know, we didn't want to go comic book, cartoony too much, because of the wide range of people that you guys want to attract to the park. So we felt if we didn't go too comic book, more people could relate to it. Once again, we've used the vibrant colors in the text and more pastel-y colors in the background just to pop the text and the people off of the billboards and bus signs and things of that nature. So the swoosh at the bottom here, we actually wanted to do that red, and what it's supposed to kind of be is the cape kind of thing. But when we used red, it really washed the logo out. So we still wanted to go with that because we felt that it was fun and kind of added interest to it. So we went with the blue and thought that worked really well. It actually kind of helped the logo out a little bit. So that's the bus stop bench.
Okay, this is a bus wrap. And again, we used pastel colors in the background. And if you notice, just about everything in the background is different. We didn't want to use the same stuff. So we used different colors, and we popped off the people and the text. And there you go.
This is another version of the bus wrap. And one of the main things we want to show with our bus wraps is this isn't just any bus. This is the Texas-sized Excitement Six Flags bus. We use the bright colors in the back to make it look bold and interesting and exciting. And we put the blue swoosh at the bottom to kind of look like Superman's cape. And we made the text really pop out with the drop shadow, make it exciting. And that's that one.
This is a newspaper ad. We wanted to try different things, different medias. So we did a newspaper in black and white. We used, as you can see on all of them, we used different people. And they've got different age groups just to show how versatile this ride is to people. We've used the same kind of layout and format with the typing. Okay, it'll make your ears ring. You're screaming so loud, your ears are going to ring. And here's, some information about it. This here is a magazine ad for the ride. We're still using the pastels, the same kind of format on the type, playing with it. New in 2003 at Six Flags Over Texas. It'll have your feet dangling. Texas size yells. We're going really funky with this one. So we're dangling, going to keep it in that direction. But we just wanted to have fun with this. We want everybody else to have fun with it.
That's fun. Did you use screen grabs? Is that how you got the photography?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That was a real challenge.
I know. Welcome to our world.
Yes, I know. I understand.
And oh, by the way, I want to use that screen grab on a billboard.
Right.
Okay. Another one of the requirements you asked was TV concepts. And this would be a commercial just for the ride. Basically what's going on is the mother is sitting there ironing a Superman costume. You have a little kid standing to the side, and she asks, are you ready to go to Six Flags? And the little girl's like, yeah, I get to go to Six Flags. The next shot you see is them walking into Six Flags. And off in the background, you have the dad running up in a Superman costume. He's like, wait for me, wait for me. And they're walking really fast because they're embarrassed. They don't want to be seen with Dad. So, and as of here, he's pretending like he's flying. He's doing his Superman stance. And next shot you see is the ride. And he sees the ride. And he's like, wow, that's huge. And then he gets on the ride. And he's like, yeah, I'm having fun. And then it ends with Superman Tower Power, only at Six Flags Over Texas. So that would be one commercial that we have for this.
This is another TV commercial. It is for the ride, but it also has a Coke tie-in. Okay, it starts out as Dad driving. We're taking the daughter to grandparents' house. The mom's trying to get her to calm down. She doesn't want to go. No, I don't want to spend the whole weekend there. It's so boring. And Grandpa and Grandma are outside. He's sitting on the porch and she's working in the yard. Little girl gets there and sees them doing it. Oh no. It'll be the most boring weekend of my life. And Grandpa jumps up, rips open his shirt. Come on, girl, let's go. And she's getting so excited. Oh man, Grandma and Grandpa are taking me to Six Flags to the Tower Power ride. I've been begging for weeks to go there. And then you get this real shot of the Six Flags and Tower Power. And then you get the last shot of Grandma and Grandpa on the ride, just going absolutely crazy.
I have a
That's
feeling she'll
fun.
be dragging them from that.
Okay. My commercial is a tape. First, before we show it, I'm going to tell you a little information about it. It's a commercial for the ride. It's a commercial for the ride. Takes on a little different take than the other two you saw. Those are like teasers. And this one is actually when you're at the ride, it shows the ride. So it gives, if it feels that tease me, you know.
Justin?
The Superman Tower of Power is 325 feet of sky.
Justin, we got no
ground.
picture.
Just 1 second.
He's trying to record on VHS too.
Oh.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
This is actually more like a real presentation because half your clients will come in halfway through.
I told you you'd know who Bruce was when he came in, didn't I?
I wanted to throw that out.
There we go.
The Superman Tower of Power is 325 feet of skyrocketing, ground-pounding, free-falling machine. With 2 seconds of complete weightlessness that leaves your feet dangling, heart pounding, pulse racing, this is a true Texas-sized ride.
Cool.
You seen the kid too?
You don't have to have audio. You can read their lips really well.
That might be a good commercial in itself, just reading the lips.
This right here, we had fun. I'm sorry, I keep saying that.
I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, this right here is a information card that goes in hotels or other places where people pick up information about travel and resorts and stuff like that. The information on it, it talks about the best way to get, you know, park passes, season park passes, things of that nature. Talk about really kind of technical stuff, how you really go about doing it, what's the process, so people really knows. So not only are people excited, because they've probably seen all the stuff by now, they can actually have information to go spend money.
The bottom line.
That's
Now
what
go
we
ahead
want
and
them to
tell you,
do.
It says Texas size screams, Texas size screams. So it'll make your heart jump. This is up there. This is a souvenir card after you get off the ride. This is a souvenir card when you get off the ride. It's 3, 1 for each tower. What the information is the top paragraph is about that specific tower. The bottom paragraph kind of it reminds people that there are 3 towers and all the rides are different, you know. And come back, try another tower, try a different experience. It's your picture.
It's they have those like I mean they take your picture like
Right, yeah,
about-
they take your picture, and it's a holder. This is an actual mock-up. This is the cover.
It's a good idea. Is it kind of like a standalone frame to where you it folds out like that? That's cool. I like that.
Nice. We really want to make sure people know that there's more, and there's, you know, try a different tower, try a different experience, have more fun, more money.
Kathy did the shoot right after I made the assignment. But they would like to go, actually, and get their footage.
This is our T-shirt. This is the front and this is the back. And this says, on the front it says, Texas size ride that'll make your feet dangle. and it's got their faces all screaming and excited. And on the back, we put the Superman logo, and we put a drop shot to make it burst out of the shirt, and the Six Flags logo at the bottom. And we made the shirt, and this is actually the same color. It's just printed out that way, but it's bold and exciting.
I understand that.
Okay. We realized that one of your major tie-ins was with the Bank of Oklahoma. So we wanted to do some promotional pieces for the Bank of Oklahoma that showed the fun of the Texas-sized, yet still gave them the information that they needed for the free checking. So with this one, we didn't use the Texas-sized headline. We went with open a free checking account and get 2 free Texas-sized tickets to Six Flags. It's similar to yours, but we still went with Texas-sized. The people, again, are popped off because we still want to show them. And that would be one of the billboards. Bank of Oklahoma.
A little late for me, thanks.
You already had to do it.
Yeah, God. I didn't realize we were getting free stuff.
We also did a bus wrap for the Bank of Oklahoma. And what we want you guys
Now,
to
you might
realize,
sell this.
We haven't done that.
what we wanted you guys to realize is that with the people that are used here, obviously different pictures, more of a variety of pictures can be used. Once again, as Carrie said, we didn't want to make the Texas size the dominant thing, because actually these are more for the Bank of Oklahoma. They are for the Bank of Oklahoma. So, but we wanted to still use that because we felt that it actually really worked. Everybody knows that everything's bigger in Texas. So, you know, that's the reasoning behind that. We wanted to tie it in with the ride things and still keep the same look because we just felt it worked so well. So this is the bus wrap for the Bank of Oklahoma.
Next, we have a commercial for the Bank of Oklahoma. And it ties in with one of the commercials that you already saw for the ride. It leaves off where you see Dad standing there in his Superman stance. And the narrator says, "So Dad and everyone can fly, soar into the Bank of Oklahoma, and open a free checking account and get 2 free Texas-sized tickets to Six Flags." And again, you see Dad. He sees the ride. He's like, wow. He's like, woohoo! And then he gets on the ride. He's like, I'm flying. And then at the end it says, Superman Tower of Power, only at Six Flags Over Texas with the Bank of Oklahoma. So, again, that's what we wanted to portray in that one. This would be a poster that you would hang in the bank. And on this one, we went with the headline, Texas-sized checking. We realize it's the Bank of Oklahoma, but we still wanted to reiterate Texas-sized.
I'll let you guys sell that one.
And we realized
They do still have Bank of Texas, though.
Yes, they do, actually.
Yeah. But this would be so like if someone's walking down the street or driving by, they might see the sign, like, oh, well, I want to go in there and see what this is all about. So that's what that's for.
And this would be a newspaper. It can either be done in color or black and white. We feel as though it works either way. Something that we realized, or that I realized about the Bank of Oklahoma is I went to do some research at the bank, and again, with the posters and things, maybe that more of them should go outside, you know, so people can see them. I didn't see any at all, and I wondered if that was the right bank, you know. So we felt that maybe if more outdoor, something that you can have in your hand, and so through the newspaper, either in color or black and white, that would give more interest and maybe actually help the Bank of Oklahoma do what they're trying to do. So this is the newspaper.
This right here is a purchase POP for the Bank of Oklahoma. What goes inside there is pamphlets and brochures about the bank and Six Flags tie-in. It's interactive. You got to come to it, kind of like coming to the towers, and it's really. You have the logo right there with the tower behind it, so people really knows what it is. The text on it says, "Get 2 free tickets to Texas-sized Six Flags." We kind of want them drawn. You know, everybody wants free tickets, so we really want them to come and read the information, see what it's about, kind of leave them teasing a little bit, and we will fulfill that teasement again. And this right here is in the application. Guy contemplating. You see the tower of power right there. So it's really nice. You notice on all the Bank of Oklahoma stuff that certain words are emphasized, because on all our stuff we have a certain way we're doing our text, and it's because, you know, this is Texas size. It's not Texas size. It's really big. It's really exciting. It's Texas size excitement, and we really want to emphasize some words to keep that excitement the same. Anxiety level almost up.
They're passing a script out for the commercial I'm showing. We also understood that Coca-Cola is maybe a tie-in with you guys in the ride. Maybe through bring a can, you get a ticket or a discount off of tickets. So in this commercial, we're first off we'll see just a can sitting on a desk anywhere, and then you hear the footsteps of a person approaching the can, and he picks it up, and obviously he'll crack it open to drink it. Well, as he's taking the drink, the camera pans back over his shoulder, kind of looking into the can, and as you get closer into the can, it actually then will explode into the ride, and then that's kind of, you know, you by drinking Coke, you will have this awesome experience, and
Sorry.
that's okay. But anyways, as you're going into the can, it just does a nice transition, actually a really explosive nice transition into the ride to then reiterate. And this is one of the pieces that we could actually use the ride, and as well as the commercial we shown before. And so that we kind of wanted to do that whenever we could so that people could actually see it, because as we were watching the commercials that were given to us, or the shots of the ride and things of that nature, the people and the ride made us all want to go. We wanted to go ride that ride immediately. But unfortunately, through the billboards and the bus wraps and things of that nature, we couldn't use the ride. So when we could, we did, because it is actually really awesome. And so, I mean, it does its job when you see it. So, and as I said, we got the script for that. So.
This is a poster for Coca-Cola and the ride, and it says Texas-sized fun and a Coke. And right here we show it in an application in a convenience store. It'd be on a poster with the price beside it, you know, to buy the Coke. And on the background we chose to use a dark red and a lighter red to try to reiterate the Coke feeling. And we used the yellow text to pop it out and, and have the excitement as well. This right here is our Coke can that we've that we've done. And it says at the top, the $10 off admission to Six Flags over Texas, and we put the logo in there. And we put a little mock-up of the Coke can for you guys to see.
Those are fun to design, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've had to do those.
And this concludes our presentation.
Thank you.
Good.
Nice job. I'm impressed that you went beyond the scope of the assignment.
Well, we really had a lot of fun with it. We had to kind of keep ourselves tinned up, if you will, because we actually wanted to do a lot more, but
They keep us pinned up there.
right. So, but we did appreciate the opportunity to have this assignment. It was an awesome experience, and I think a couple others are actually going to go ride this ride. So pretty soon.
As soon as school's out.
Yeah, but that was
This week,
yesterday.
right? Oh, it was yesterday?
We're going. We're going. But we thank you guys for allowing us to do this, and I hope we fulfill your needs.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Comments? Did y'all have any?
I had a comment about this. I just thought that on this one, I love the way that it looks on the back, but not to get too picky, but I just felt like the headline got lost since it was the same color as the background. And I know that how concerned you were with trying to make it pop off.
We kind of wanted to give it a three-dimensional look with that text, and we were hoping that the drop shadows and things would kind of help that out, and maybe if they were printed a little darker or something on the side of the bus. But we were kind of concerned with the red on red, but that was the reasoning behind that. So.
As creative director, my comments always are meant to crush spirits and souls, I think. So I'm debating whether to say anything or not.
No, go ahead, please.
It's just a matter of, as far as strategy, you did touch on one of the points that would have come up pretty quickly, and that is Texas size is going to limit the reach around its little companion pieces that go in other states. That's something I think they actually, believe it or not, something about Texas sized was in one of the original TV spots last year. And that was one of the concerns that came out of Six Flags. So my reaction to a lot of this stuff is going to be based on the bias I have dealing with these both sides of the street. You know, the Bank of Oklahoma and the Six Flags. But you're going to find that when you start executing this stuff for real, you're going to have to pay more attention to elements that you really don't want to pay attention to. And that's going to be logo size. That's going to be prominence of the logo. I can already see these guys here kind of like smiling as things went down. It's not a huge desire of ours to have the Six Flags logo half of the outdoor board, but it turns out that, ironically, it is the client's desire to have that happen. And so there are certain things as you go through here and re-look at it, I challenge you to look at, and that is the fact that I don't think you get away with a lot of the branding on here that you've got. In a perfect world, I think you've got the ratio that we'd all like to see.
Right.
The offer, the headline, that kind of thing. It is not a perfect world from this side of the desk, and I think that's one thing that I challenge you guys to look at. And go back now with that in mind, look at your stuff and look at CA or look at television spots or anything like that, and kind of try to retrofit. I'll find myself late at night wondering, how the heck did they get that done? Because the logo's small, it's not intrusive, and I always kind of want to refit how the strategy that went on behind the scenes to get that spot on the air and get that ad in the newspaper. Right. So as you go back through this and relook at it again as you exhale here after the presentation and everything, I kind of challenge you to look through it again and kind of compare it to stuff, knowing that there's going to be a lot of caveats from your clients that you're not going to want to have to deal with, but you're going to have to deal with. You know?
Well, thank you.
There's something. There's something else that I noticed that on the there was the little, almost like the eyebrow that you all included, kind of like make your eyes pop.
Right.
It seemed to me, as I kept seeing this go past, to me, and this is just my opinion.
So it could be wrong.
Yeah, well, most often so. It seemed like I would want to see that bigger, more prominent, rather, that be the main idea, making your eyes pop, and
Right.
then, the Texas-sized thrills, almost more of a bug.
So maybe.
Yeah. The idea that you're wanting to make their eyes pop or make your stomach drop is the first thing that you see, and I think that would entice people to read a little bit more through there. There was some.
There's some clever headlines.
Yeah, there
Very
was
clever.
some things I saw. I think my favorite piece was the little flip out photo that takes your picture,
Right.
and it gives you like I really like the backgrounds on it. Personally,
city.
every time I go to one of these places, me and my girlfriend get something and keep something to remember stuff like that. So I really do like that kind of stuff.
Great.
Usually my favorite pieces are the ones that weren't necessarily on the strategy sheet that you get. It's the ones that you guys go out of bounds and kind of rethink the project itself. That's why I like that piece as well. I'm surprised you didn't have anything on the internet in here, which kind of
It wasn't part of their assignment.
But I just got to say,
Yeah.
I like it when there's some things that just kind of come in from out of the blue. But I realized I wasn't part of the assignment, but I'm still surprised at what didn't crop up. So if you guys spend as much time as I do on the internet, then it's kind of a critical component. I think Mike's right. I think that Texas-sized blank could become a real nice bug as you launch the campaign. It becomes a little secondary, and that stuff pops out. I noticed that you've got a lot of nice stuff, as Patty said, as far as headlines and some body copy on the bus and stuff. I think another thing I challenge you to do, and I'm sure Doug will probably hop in here in a minute and talk about sensitivity and type. But it seems like you could have probably placed a little more, or paid a little more attention to some of those elements, the eyebrows and the body copy. It seems like it almost feels like an afterthought that it was put on there. You had a real good fun time with the headlines and the elements and all that stuff. And then I think the critical information kind of got the short end of the stick there.
Okay.
And I would, that is one of the things I was going to mention, but
I just set you up, Doug.
I want to first of all compliment you guys on the consistent use of campaign elements. I think that was far and away the strongest example of a campaign, like the backgrounds, the way, especially the swoosh is used at the bottom, and the glow around the people, which I think the application of it is a little harsh, but I like the idea of it, and the way it's always there, but it's not always exactly the same.
Right.
I think it could be softened up more like a soft glow or something like that, but I see where you're coming from. Some of the backgrounds didn't always work. When the background became too much, too distracting, it took away from the message, but the whole idea of having this, these backgrounds that are not always the same colors, but they always work the same way, I think is highly effective and really nice. I think there is overall a type problem in that this typeface, while it has applications like the airport thing, it works great in an application like this, and if this was the only piece you were doing, it would be, a great thing to use. But when you have things like a billboard, you back off from that, very far at all, it becomes very difficult to read, and then that's compounded with the heavy drop shadow. I think that if you were to use a typeface that is bolder, heavier, and not necessarily so much fun but very readable, then it's the message of what you're actually saying becomes the entertainment of the piece instead of the way the type looks. And then
So it's kind of a play on words. You use the words to be the fun part, not the actual.
Exactly.
Let's say I think what these guys do well is that finding that balance where it can be playful to the point where it's not distracting.
Yeah.
And lose the message.
And we talk a lot about, what are the general signs of the way weaker concepts are approached graphically. And one thing you'll see is that, if the type isn't, if the message isn't clever enough, then, towards which it's dulled up.
You didn't write it well. He can't design it.
Somehow it's usually my fault, man.
Yeah. But as Bruce will say lots of times, you see a copy sheet, you just read the copy sheet, and that makes you laugh.
Yes,
Just the copy sells.
And the older I get, the more I just kind of hand them a copy sheet and say, it's an art problem. I think.
That's your job at this point.
Let's see, and then the other thing I wanted to say, two more things actually. First of all, kind of what Mike mentioned, you really seem to have two separate campaigns that you've put together. I would say, the little sayings like, it'll make your eyes pop, it'll make your limbs limbo. That approach could almost be
Its own
thing. Big messages that say that, and that's your type. Texas-sized, whatever, thrills, tingles, all that kind of stuff is, a little subset on the end or something like that. I think that you should either dedicate yourself to Texas-sized or to, the funny little sayings, but not most. And in all honesty, on a billboard, nobody's ever going to read that. They'd wreck their car if they tried to read that. So, and then...
That was the idea. No, that was the idea.
I've always said that insurance companies. Anyway, and then the last thing I would say is that I think that the actual identification with the Superman, the whole world of Superman as a sales element, I think is probably downplayed a little bit too much. There's a lot of selling power in Superman, images of Superman, the name Superman, all of that kind of stuff. And on everything, Superman's kind of set down off to the corner.
The reason for that is that in the current campaign, it seemed that Superman the logo was the biggest thing, and we just wanted to kind of give it a different approach and see if it would work. So that's
See,
the
they
reason.
were doubly challenged because our campaign hit while they were in the middle of doing their campaign, and they didn't want to present what we'd already done.
Right.
Okay.
So that was kind of an added challenge to this particular group.
I
The
would
next
just shut up
group
and say, "You
is
stole my
New
idea."
Jersey.
Halfway through this thing, and you stole it.
Prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the reasoning behind that. At the beginning, we kind of were going for more of the comic book look. We were going to use Superman as the entity, but then we saw that that's what had happened. So, and we didn't want, like you said, to come in here and show you the same thing that you already have. So.
And back to that soul-crushing reality that you'll face eventually. Dealing with, it is a huge draw. Superman, Doug is exactly right. I mean, it is a huge draw. Dealing with DC Comics at the same time is a whole other facet of this. I could point out, and actually it's television that's probably the biggest culprit of how that would never actually get produced in real life or anything. It's great for a presentation like this, but no, they would never.
They would never go for that?
Superman, you will never be doing that on a Six Flags spot.
Really? See, I didn't even know that part.
That was my first.
You tried that? You've already been there.
Already been on the phone with the
that
lawyers. We had, for Bank of Oklahoma, we actually did. John executed 2 different campaigns, much to his chagrin. The one that's actually running and one that was a literal reenactment of comics, a comic book character that was a mild-mannered banker by day, but defeated checking fees at night. And it was, oh, no. You will
Nobody
not
can be Superman.
You will not be doing this. And what he did, we tried so hard to make him not Superman. He had his little meatball logo, the Bank of Oklahoma logo. We tried, and he was so not Superman as far as the demographic, and still it paralleled the storyline.
I didn't know that.
And they will not let you have any part of that.
That's-
Like I said, I'm down here with the Soul Crusher, but that is another thing to also kind of factor in as you kind of go through all this stuff. It's always nice to know that, I think, post-mortem.
Yeah.
It's always a challenge. Yeah.
That's my opinion on everything, is everything I've looked at all the pitfalls I've had.
You can't separate.
I'm like,
You
that-
can't say anything.
That looks great, but
The client won't let you do that.
He's just
or-
back.
Let you do that.
Ignore him,
Be
he's
okay
just
with
back
what
from
you do.
Baghdad. He's still a sunshine.
I mean, 'cause-
He just survived the campaign, so it's hard for John to look at it objectively.
Basically, both of these presentations I have done, billboards, bus wraps, for both of these, and that's my problem, is everything I'm looking at, I'm thinking back to my original design on everything and how much I liked it, and then the end product after everybody had their 2 cents, and it
That you
just.
don't like.
And that's how,
And that's my problem, because the first thing I look at these is, they won't let you do that, they won't let you do that, they won't let you do that. And.
But you guys had no way of knowing.
Well, it's
Yeah,
hard to
But
separate.
it's me neither. I mean, my initial
You
design on
didn't.
everything was the way I wanted it.
Exactly.
But then they come in, and this is how this has to be, and this is how this has to be.
And I don't think that makes the stuff, as John's saying, wrong.
Right.
I think it
I
makes
just-
it real to us,
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
that, we'd love to dedicate 90% of something to that, like you've done here.
Right.
But the reality of it is a lot of times quite shocking.
So have we freaked out Ultimate Flight Team yet?
Goodbye, folks!
You guys did a great job.
Did excellent
You've done a
job.
lot of hard work. Very good.